All right, welcome in to this energetic reading that is going to be tuned to the moon cycle, and specifically to the, where we're at right now, full moon in Taurus, supermoon, and several things have been coming in before I start. We'll pull some cards and some witch runes, as they're known as, but a few things coming in prior. One is a very large gap between groups of people in the world right now, some who are extremely happy, some who are feeling extremely down. So there's this swirling of energies. It's stormy energy because of these two, very kind of, it's an intemperate time, right? And if we get caught up in it, we can get caught up in a lot of that intemperance, where either totally hot or totally cold, totally in, say, the air energy, totally in the water energy, totally in the fire energy, totally in the earth energy, instead of having balance between everything, totally in the life energy or totally in the death energy, stuck on the above energy, stuck on the below energy, all these types of dichotomies, which is, the purpose, more and more what I understand as my purpose, is to negotiate these, energies at large, to smooth out the energies that are imbalanced. Much of what is wrong in the world today is, underlying it is imbalances of energy, imbalances of energy flows, energy that's stuck and not flowing. So you have this sense of, the snow on the top of the mountain that never melts and flows down into the valley to water the valley, type of things. So, so that's coming through. And I'm just going to say it, this is definitely related to the election in the United States, and the, as always happens since quite a long time ago, there's this sense of the world's ending because my candidate lost, or everything's going to be perfect because my candidate won. And neither of these are true, right? Neither of these are true. So that's the energy coming out here that we're negotiating. I'm going to be beginning with the Dark Grimoire Tarot, and specifically, and I wasn't really planning on it, but Spirit was clear this deck needed to come out, and I really haven't used it much, so it'll be interesting. Because what we're going to do first here is think about the full moon. What is the full moon illuminating? The benefit of the full moon is really this sense of this glaring light. What is it glaring on? In the darkness, in the shadows. And I'm a little bit ambivalent about that, actually, because it's very cloudy here. A night or two before the full moon, the moon was big and bright. You could tell the supermoon was coming. The moon at its closest point to the earth. We have, it's the last supermoon of the year, before the holiday season, right at the end here of Scorpio season, towards the end of Scorpio season. So yeah, we've got death energy, we've got rebirth energy going on. There's a lot of swirling energies, a lot of stormy energies. And at least where I am, we have a moon that wants to spotlight things, but then there's cloudiness. And again, this storminess, there's a sense of intemperance, there's a sense of extremes coming together and making things cloudy and hard to see, hard to witness, is coming through. The other thing, before I start pulling cards, is this could be a confirmation for someone. We have a sense of maybe being stuck, or something being lost, something being hidden that we're looking for. And this is because there's a very prominent feather that is usually in this spot in my setup here, that almost certainly my cat has decided to take away and hide somewhere. My cat is very much my familiar. He messes with things. It usually means something when he messes with various things I have set up on my various altars and such, in spaces that are dedicated to the divine and spirit and my ancestors and so on. So all of that is coming through. All right, so we're gonna split the deck, get a sense of energy for this collective that's tuning in. And so I know it's probably very dark on here. We have the Three of Swords. With this open book, a sense of ghostliness, of something watching over the shoulder, a sense of being closed off to information, a sense of something creeping around with eyes that are not. This is speaking much about fear in the mind, an unsettled mind, and being unsure of what voice to listen to. What voices to listen to, and a lot of voices being, broadcast. And then we also have the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands here, two travelers winding up a pathway to, what looks to be, it's not so much a fortress, but maybe a temple, a place for answers to come. These are pilgrims. So there's definitely a sense of seeking, a sense of needing to quiet the mind, coming out here, right at the beginning. I just realized those go that way. Been doing that lately. There's something about topsy-turviness right now, a sense of things being upside down, of feeling like things are upside down. And again, so important right now for the folks I'm speaking to is to manage those energies, not control them, but manage them, understand them, understand where they're coming from, understand what energies are not yours. If you're sensitive to energies, there's a lot of energy swirling in the world. I mean, I'm feeling it right now. I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling it, really in my solar plexus. There's this sense of almost foreboding, a sense of like holding one's breath, of needing to breathe out, of needing to let go, a sense of fear that needs to be released. All right. These cards want to talk. So let's begin. Planning to pull 3 cards from 3 different decks. The first card here, we have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands. So this speaks of, let me just absorb this for a moment. I don't think it is, but this card almost looks like, Medusa. There's an earthiness to this card. There's tendrils, there could be tentacles, or they could be roots, along with the flames. This is fire to earth. There's a sense of glaring, a sense of being held back, of not being allowed to approach. And this is all in the mind. In reality, the adept can walk right through these fires and go through unsinged. So there's a sense of don't be afraid of the fire. Also, what's coming through in connection with the energies that already came out is a sense of I thought I knew what was happening. I thought I knew what was happening, and then I didn't. I thought I knew where things were going, and then it turns out I didn't. I thought I knew the timeline I was on, but I didn't. These tendrils are timelines. Some of them seem like they're ending, like they can't go through the fire. There's no way through, and this is all an illusion. This is all an illusion. And, you know, the sort of humanoid creatures in this deck are often being held back, pushed back, almost looked down upon, and there's that sense here too. So there's a sense here of needing to understand one's connection with the divine, of oneness with the divine. Background to this, we have the Seven of Pentacles, with this guy looking at perhaps a ledger, and there's this energy, this entity sort of looking over the shoulder. Seven of Pentacles is a sense of being unsure where to turn, right? Things aren't quite the way we want them to be. Things aren't quite settled on the earth plane. Things aren't quite embodying the way we would like them to be embodied. And again, there's this sense of something looking over the shoulder, and it's coming out as oneself, trying to seem composed, trying to seem as if everything is fine. But inside, there's this sense of, frankly, fear. This is a fear entity. And notice the dark shadows on the brow of the person here who's looking through this journal, perhaps, or a ledger, or whatever it might be. There's a sense of darkness at the third eye. So again, a sense of there's almost a sense too of this entity reaching around and holding on to this person, almost like the next move, if this scene were to, you know, spring into action, would be an embrace from behind, which in the tentacly arms here would be around the heart space. So yeah, there is a sense of overlooking. This is sort of a past of the self, overlooking and having seen things upside down from now. Now we're looking, and things are right side up, and now we can see. And then there's this sense of almost like a beast self, an ego self, that is then almost like a lizard brain self that is looking back at this prior self and wondering, what were you looking at? Almost judgmental, or ready to be done with a former position that we sat in. So again, there's a lot of sense of unease with excuse me, with what we're seeing, where we are, what we're feeling in the energies, and, you know, let's see then where this leads to. The next card is the Eight of Wands. This came up. This card fell out when I first pulled the deck out of the box. Yeah, so the book here, this is the same book doesn't have to be, but in this reading it is. The book is going to speak of its own. We've been trying to decipher the book and thought we knew what the book said. We thought we had a vision of the book, and we're realizing that no, we didn't understand. We didn't understand the timeline we were on. We didn't understand what was coming down the road. And there's some part of us that did know. That's what this this lizard brain self is actually a deeper part of us that knew. And is very cold in the sense of isn't hot-blooded, isn't passionate, is sort of looking at the situation from that cold-blooded view of just facts, right? And so we're dealing with that right now. And so now the book is speaking of its own. The timeline that we're on is made itself present and obvious, and but the good thing is there are a lot of possibilities here. There are all kinds of possibilities coming out of this timeline. The fire is always coming down and is always being grounded anew. So that is the sort of what is the full moon glaring on and bringing to light here. I'm going to leave those there at the bottom of the deck. Just spirit, anything further about this. We have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands. Yeah, so there's this sense of actually completion here. We feel bad about all this situation, but the fact is we've just crawled out of the mouth of something that went deep and dark, or maybe it was like lava and too much heat down there, and we're actually crawling out of it. We're actually coming out of it, and there's actually a sense of groundedness. This person is pulling themselves out of this deep dark pit with a rope that's tied around a secure rock. So there's this sense of security, actually, a sense of groundedness, a sense of being tied in, which is interesting in a Ten of Wands. This is a very different Ten of Wands than in a lot of decks. So it's very interesting that that's coming out. So with all this sort of, again, this is coming out kind of in a almost fear, like what we're dealing with. And yeah, okay, maybe we're panting, and maybe it's from strenuous activity, maybe it's from fear, maybe it's from both, but we're okay. We're okay. All right. So we're going to leave that up here. And now I'm actually going to pull some. Nope. I'm hearing nope. Do the runes at the end. Okay. We'll do the runes at the end. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to go to the Shadowscape Tarot next. This is a deck that is very, what I would call Lyran, in terms of the constellation Lyra. It's also where we get the term the lyre, the musical instrument where the wind blows through and makes the noise. It's makes the sound, makes the music, and is the sense of where poetry comes from. It's where our word lyrics, song lyrics, are the breath of some inspiration beyond ourselves when they really work. If you have ever written poetry, if you've written songs, if you've written stories, and you've ever had a time where you're like I don't know where that really came from, then you hit the lyric. The lyric came out in you, the breath of something else, the breath of something more than what you are aware of yourself being able to be. That more than what you think of yourself as being. A consciousness beyond yourself, above yourself, a higher self. All these types of ways of describing it, right? Very interesting how these are shuffling. All right, I'm not going to get an energy off of this. We're just going to plunge straight in. So, but this deck is specifically tuned to the energies of Lyra, of the star system Vega. Look up Vega. Vega was just in the news. Scientists using the James Webb Space Telescope have just looked at Vega and found it to be very different than what they thought. It matches exactly what I have knowings of in terms of what happened to the system there, the star system there of Vega, and destruction that came to it. But there are still energies there, and those energies are, well, they're very interesting. And the root of it is much that all the forms that we see on Earth, and there are many more than the forms that we see or that we've dug up, paleontologists have dug up, all the living forms on Earth have their root in Lyra, on the star system of Vega, and that system was a system for evolving forms, evolving bodily forms, and it did reach to a high consciousness level, and then also succumb to darkness. And that is a big story, and is, well, that's where I'm from. So it's like, in other words, this deck is news from home for me. Okay, so first card coming out, the Ten of Cups. And there's a sense of self-love in the best way here, right? A sense of being in tune with the self, of embracing the self. The cups here are actually fish. The fish are in the water. This is a very Piscean in terms of, the constellation Pisces, the sign Pisces, whatever. Oh, both and. Yeah, this is the sense of being okay wherever you're at. This is the energy that we're, from here, from this sense of are those tentacles, are those roots. We can't get through the fire. We can't get up to the high priestess or the goddess to get what we need. And the book is speaking on its own. It's not saying what we thought it was going to say. This is a sense of, and then of climbing out. This is a sense of being okay with oneself, being full in oneself, not full of oneself, but having fullness in oneself, being self-composed, being, and that can be taken the wrong way, in a negative way, but taken in the positive way, right? Like walking around the world knowing that you are one with it, it is one with you. The apparent divisions are just apparent, right? All is one. The waters are all one. We all swim in the same waters. Our being is held within the waters. We're okay. And perfect card. Temperance. This is what I've been saying. That's exactly what I've been saying. I'm not surprised this card came out. It's a beautiful card showing the sense of kind of fire and water, or fire and ice. I would take it almost more as fire and ice. There's this sense of a dragon that is both, a dragon that's partaking of both. And think about fire and ice that I'm getting. Fire requires oxygen. It requires the air. In order to heat anything up, it requires something to heat up. So very often that is water. Ice is water, but it's also air. So there's this mingling of elements here. There's this mingling of elements. And this person here is sitting there, is collecting this energy into this ball, this disc, this pentacle, if you will. So there's this sense of literally embracing those energies. Don't fear the cold. Don't fear the fire. This has been coming through Don't fear the now. Don't fear the future or the past. Deal with them. Combine them in the now moment. Okay? What is the past that matters in this now moment? What is the future that we want to head towards? And let's ground that by starting in this now moment to head in that direction. And there's sort of a dragonling also there. I don't know if you can see that. If it's going to come through very well. This little guy down here. There's this sense of having a helper. Having a helper. We are aided. We are not alone. And we've been. This is in the past. So we have this. You have this. Whatever you're feeling right now, you have this. Okay. So find it within you. Okay, it's the unity of opposites within you. Okay, you are all. You are both. The masculine and the feminine and the masculine. You are both the fire and the water, the ice and the fire, the air and the water. You are all of it. Okay. And then something for where we're headed next. The Judgment card, number 20. This is ascension. This is, and another name for this card is the Eon card, the Aeon card. This is a card of ascension. This is a card of rising upward. So there's really a sense here of don't get thrown off by all these swirling energies. Don't get thrown off by them. If you're listening to my messages and you're a person, the world needs you to be a collector of and composer of energies, someone who can smooth out the energies, someone who can be level-headed, level-hearted, open-hearted, even when hurt, even when having seen things go not the way you want them to go, even when thinking that everything's going exactly how you want it to go, knowing that hard times are also coming. It's being balanced. So much here about balance. So important. And this is what leads upward. This is what leads upward. Bottom of the deck. The sun. The sun. Look for the sun, look for the light. This has been coming through a lot lately. It's not going. It's still there. In fact, the sun right now is at a maximum position. At any time now, we're going to, hear that from scientists that it's, we got through solar maximum, and now we're going back down to the other direction in terms of the solar cycles. If you don't know about solar cycles, look them up. But right now, there's so much solar energy coming through. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. It doesn't matter if it's cloudy. Okay? It doesn't matter what you see going on in the world and how bad it looks to you or how good it looks to you. Okay? There's definitely dragon energy here. There's stork energy. There's crane energy. There's perhaps swallow, or no, that would be a hawk, I think, perhaps, or a gull. Yeah, sharp, very sharp beak, probably a gull. Maybe a swallow here. There's energy of flight here, of being born upward, of the sun warming the air and bearing us up. An upwelling of warm air. Look for that in your life. It's there. It's there. Okay, we're going to put this down here. And now we're going to look forward. So this next, 28-ish days, the moon cycle, this next moon, currently the moon in Taurus. There's a lot about grounding. we really are at a point of grounding things in place for the next cycle. There are always multiple different cycles going, right? There's a lunar cycle. There's an annual cycle, a year cycle. You could think about that from the sense of, what I think of is the galactic new year, which is in August, and is keyed to the Lionsgate portal around August 8th and the rising of Sirius. There's, your birthday is a way to track the annual cycle. I actually don't recommend following the Gregorian calendar or whatever, Julian calendar, the whole, January 1st is the first day of the new year. I do not like that. It doesn't match up with anything, in my opinion. It is a fabrication that is about controlling people. Okay. Aries season, the beginning of springtime, that is the new year, clearly rebirth, right? So think about these things differently. Okay, we're going to go straight, and if it looks like I'm all tied up, I am Saturn bound today. And that is not a bad thing. That is a good thing. Something that's coming through just right now before I pull cards. Understand and work with Saturn. Saturn energy is about, and there's almost a sense of willingness, a willingness to be bound, a willingness to understand that there are cords, that there are lines that you are tied to, and they're not all bad. Understand which ones you want to be tied to. You have to be tied to something. You have to be. What are you tying yourself to? What are you bound to that you want to be bound to? And what does that mean for your life? Don't ignore those ties when you go out and live. And this is when we say go out, and we're out with friends and say things things are going away, that your bindings, your commitments really would tell you no, but then you go anyway and you do anyway, kind of peer pressure type stuff. But more than that, this has to do, I think, it's come through strongly more with internet culture. What is everyone else saying? What does everyone else think? Know you, know your ties, know what binds you. Cut the cords that need to be cut, but establish the ones that you need, that actually then that runs into Capricorn energy, where the devil energy, which is, yes, it can be bindings that restrict, but it's also bindings that allow for creation. Okay, bindings that allow for creation. We want those bindings. Okay. All right, I guess we're doing one more shuffle here. Nope. Something about that changed the energy of what I just said. For me, perhaps for someone who watches, and that necessitated shuffling these cards. Something wanted to show itself. I'll not be surprised if that comes out. Looked kind of light bluish. Let's see what comes out here. Okay, we have the Five of Cups. So there's this sense of resignation here. So be ready for things to just be what they are. Be what they are. Okay? Sometimes we just got to put our head down and keep going, like a horse pulling a load. This horse looks pretty depressed. This is all about future. This is about what we're headed towards, about what to expect. And it's being blunt, it's being honest. There's going to be more water energy, and it's not all going to be good water energy for everyone. Okay. It doesn't matter whether you're happy and elated right now, or sad and depressed right now, or somewhere in the middle. It's going to be that. Okay. So that's okay. We've got to learn to work with those energies. All right, Father of Wands. This is the King of Wands, or really I would prefer to think of it as the Knight of Wands. I'm more of a Thothian tarot reader. So for me, kings are more like knights, and at least that's how I read them, and more aligned with Thoth. And this is an amazing card. This is spirit coming straight down to earth. A lot of times the Knight of Wands is, this knight looking off into the distance, and there's sunlight or fire of some kind, but it's all very distant, and the knight's kind of portrayed as being slow and taking his time, and the sort of vulgar reading of this card is that Knight of Wands. Actually, I guess the Knight of Pentacles gets the slow thing, but I feel like I've seen the Knight of Wands be read that way as well. And in any case, this is a card of instant manifestation, of it doesn't have to be instant. It's a card of we've grounded something into place, and it isn't it there's polarity here. You notice there's the red, and then there's the white, and the white kind of looks like a negative image silhouette of a stick, right, like a tree, and the red, it looks like lightning or a very jagged streak of fire in the sky. And there's also this sense of rain, so there's water here. And the serpent, everyone's a serpent, that's bad, or it's a cobra, so that or an asp, or probably an asp actually, I think that must be very bad. Well, no, snakes speak of earth energy, of being really grounded and being in touch with earth energy. So that's why this is such an amazing card, because this is Wands energy, but it's extremely grounded. It's extremely grounded energy. So in other words, you already have what you need, right? In the past position, somewhere in your past, what you've been working on, you're ready for this Five of Cups. You're ready for it, okay? And then, Mother of Cups. So this is the Queen of Cups. This is this is being able to look out at the world and see all the beauty in it, right? To see all the colors. This is a very black and white deck. It's so when there's color, it really pops and it means something. And here, this is really talking about don't stop seeing color. We're going into the dreary months, potentially. It's rainy and kind of cold and cloudy outside where I'm at. But there's still really colorful leaves on the trees, I noticed this morning. And actually, I already know the picture I'm going to put up as the cover for this video. So be looking for that color. Be looking for that color. This is about being very in touch with the water energy too, right? And being far sighted, right? And looking with the heart, being able to look out into the distance with the heart, and not to get dragged down into that Five of Cups. This is rising above any kind of sense of Five of Cups. The Queen of Cups understands sorrow. It doesn't get pulled down into it. The Mother of Cups here, same thing. There's a sense then of mothering oneself through all this, of knowing when to maybe be a little hard on oneself, and then when to be, mothering in a nurturing kind of way too. There's a sense of protection here. This is very much, we have Father of Wands and Mother of Cups. This is very much connected to this card here with the Ten of Cups, and the sense of the two parts of oneself, the two polarities of oneself. And there's many different ways we can divide that polarity of oneself but those two coming together and a synergy between them. There's a synergy here. We're working on that this month. That seems pretty clear. At the bottom of the deck, Nine of Cups, and with it, the moon energy, Nine of Cups. There's a sense that this is a sunrise or a sunset, and there's a red sky here. So if my kids are around, I would say a red sky in the morning, sailor's warning, a red sky at night, sailor's delight. This is moon energy, so I say this is red sky at night. There's again this sense of seeing the colors. Look how colorful this particular card is compared to some of these other cards in this deck. There's, this card is colored. So 9 of Cups is a sense of fullness, not completeness, right? It's not the 10 of Cups. It's just a sense of a good fullness, a sense of I have everything I need in myself. I'm emotionally okay. I'm bound up with myself in the best possible way. All right. So from there, we are going to pull 3 runes, and these runes are going to be I'm not going to overturn them, I'm just going to pull them. These are going to be sort of dividing the month into 3, okay? Sort of dividing the month into 3, giving us a sense of what to look for, a sense of some more, maybe something a little more specific that we're working on this month. So we'll pull this one first, or look at this one first. So this is, I don't know how well you can see that, this is the scythe. The scythe rune, cutting away. We're cutting things away here, the first part of this lunar month. Maybe this has to do with, kind of back to the beginning, cutting away, sort of deciding to be done with that extremity of reaction, right? Whatever those feelings are, getting some separation between those feelings and ourselves. It did come in here, so we have Father of Wands, we're able to do this. We have Temperance, and we do have the sense of just looking back and realizing the way things actually were, right? Things were actually this way all along, that kind of feeling, okay? And so the scythe is really detaching and being okay with all of that. All right. Sun in that middle position. So, approximately 9 days from now, 9-10 days from now, 8 days from now, we're looking for sunshine to enter. Something that really makes us feel warm. It could be literally be out in the sun. It could be a reminder to get out into the sun. It could be a reminder that the sun may not be very visible this time of year, depending on the weather where you are, but it's still there. Don't forget it, okay? And that really seems kind of, there's a sense here of finding the sun in yourself, right? Again, that combination of the polarities within ourselves. The polarity at the bottom of the universe is what makes a sun, a star, possible in the first place. And, all fires are really just echoes of the sun. So light a fire if you need to. If you have the ability to do a campfire or a bonfire, highly recommend that. Otherwise, candles, do some work with candles. It's coming in earlier, actually. So I'm not surprised it's coming up. Do candle work. When we do candle work, we're directly working with spirit. Fire is spirit, spirit is fire, the fire of spirit, the spirit of fire. Spirit is all in all. Spirit is in the fire, it's in the water. Spirit is in the air, spirit is in the earth. But fire is that pure form of spirit. So there's a sense here maybe too of doing our spiritual work, of doing our divine work of remembering our ancestors is a great thing to be doing this time of year, obviously. When, for some folks, they feel the veil is particularly thin right now. I don't have that. For me, the veil is always thin. It's always thin. It will get thinner if I go to a place where people I know are buried or that type of thing. I can get in touch that way. The last third of the month, and I actually got a glimpse of this before when I pulled it out, the moon. So there's a sense of mystery here. There's a sense of we're moving towards something that is hidden. We are preparing for it. In a sense, we're already prepared for it. And Spirit is telling us this. The book is speaking, right? The book is speaking. It's already telling us. And we might be astonished to hear what it's saying, or we will be before the month is out. And I would say that's for everyone, for those who are in the biggest sense of doom and gloom, all the way to the folks who are the happiest because they think everything is right in the world, and all those in between. And there's a sense then of being in a more balanced position, leading us to, again, this is the Judgment card, but I think of it more as the Eon card. This is the card of ascension of a new eon, a new leg of the spiral, and it's a sense of going upward, onward and upward. We're always going up the spiral, up the spiral, up the spiral, and that always requires mystery. There's always going to be unknowns, and if we want to know what that unknown is ahead of time, we can start to feel it. Mother of Cups, Queen of Cups. Use your intuition. Stay in touch with yourself. Stay in touch with what your heart is telling you, what your feelings are telling you, but then be balanced within those feelings, right? It's not all doom and gloom. Also, the night falls and it gets dark outside. Both are true. Okay, both are true. The sun will come up, the moon will shine. Sometimes the sun will be behind clouds, the moon will be behind clouds. All these things are true. So this is really a reading about what have we learned? Just because we're in a position here where maybe it feels bad, we've still learned this. Draw back, fall back on it, understand it, get back in touch with it. We're okay. We're okay. Right? We're okay. We're still tied. We're not going to fall. We're not going to fall back down into that pit. It's not going to happen. Okay? Yeah, something else there, but we're not going to go into that. That's it for this reading. If you found it helpful and you would be interested in personal reading from me, you can find ways to get a hold of me in the description of the video. I don't always do those, but I'm coming up to a time of year where I will, especially after Thanksgiving, have more and more time for such. So I will try to get back into doing such things for anyone who would find it useful, helpful. I don't really do love readings per se, so I don't really encourage that. I do readings focused on you and your journey, your life path, where you're at, where you're going. If love or romance comes into that, great, but that's not what the focus is necessarily. But open to work with folks who are especially feel they're on a path and are building something in their life, are drawing spirit down, the fire down, through the water, through the air, negotiating those energies, bringing things down and grounding into earth in ways beneficial for yourself, for all the people around you, for the world as a whole. That's what it's all about, negotiating the energies. And so I am sending you much light at this time, all of it that you can stand, along with love and peace.